Hey all, Chris McDonald here with Arborea Technical Solutions, and I've got another small business growing pains avoidance tip. And this is a big warning to all the small businesses out there that you may have machines with Windows 11 on them that cannot receive security patches anymore. And a lot of small businesses could be getting ripped off by vendors that might be selling used equipment on places like eBay or Amazon. It comes with Windows 11. Isn't it compatible? And most business owners may. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption, right? But as of recently, Microsoft updates will not patch machines that don't meet the minimum specifications outlined by Microsoft several years ago when Windows 11 was released. There are some vendors out there that have applied small hacks to the registry that allowed them to install Windows 11 on machines that didn't meet these requirements. And so there are businesses out there that have these machines. How do you know that this has happened to you? Well, this is the even scarier part is that when you go to the Windows Update area, it's going to say you're up to date. And a non-technical person might leave it at that. Yes, I'm protected. I'm in great shape. If you go to the system and about sections, it's going to give you the version of the operating system, and the 22H2 is going to be the last one that you're going to be able to put onto these machines. We're currently, I think, on 24H2, and it's just going to go up from there, right? So this machine that I'm showing a sample from is not getting patched, even though it says it's up to date. So it's at the latest patch that it can possibly apply. So technically it's up to date, but it's not getting all the latest security patches anymore. So what are these requirements? They're pretty simple. And that most machines that have been released, all of the machines released since Windows 11 are going to be compatible, right? You need a TPM chip. These are trusted modules that where you store your passwords at. It used to be an upgrade back in the day. Now it's standard across the board. The next one is a Generation 8 or newer processor. And I think, anything that's less than 8 years old, I think is going to have a processor that's newer than Gen 8. Don't quote me on that one. That's just off the top of my head. And then, of course, the storage, the RAM, and the hard drive size, right? 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of hard drive space. And I think most consumers are educated enough on these items that they typically, I think these days, you're going to not go any lower than 8 gigs of RAM. And most consumers are buying, 500 gig hard drives. So the places where you're going to get into tripped up is the TPM chip and the processor age. How do you know? How else can I check? Right? Because it doesn't say what generation that processor is in the Windows about section. Microsoft actually released this health check app. And so I've got a link to it up in the upper right, and you can go to that link and download the PC health check tool directly from Microsoft and run it. And that's going to have, when you run it, it's going to have a big box up the tippy top that says check now. And you just click that box. The results are going to look a little bit like this. The left-hand side's a machine, I think it's like 2 years old, that I had on my desk, and I just ran it on. Beautiful. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Green check marks everywhere. On the right-hand side is an example of one of my clients who bought machines before they brought me on board. And these machines were bought off of eBay by a seller who had forced Windows 11 on a machine that wasn't compatible. And the TPM is not at the minimum requirement, and neither is the processor. So the next question you might have, because there's going to be a few small businesses out there that got taken in by some seller on eBay or Amazon or elsewhere that had a refurb machine that doesn't meet those requirements. What can you do? And my advice to you is, if you recently bought this machine and it's still in your return window, I would definitely make that return. Okay. Send that machine back and get a refurbished machine. I would say go direct to the manufacturer. In most cases, you're going to get a better deal if you go with a refurbished machine, maybe direct from Dell or Lenovo or HP or any of those other vendors. They're going to have certified refurbished machines. So I'm not one of those people that say buy new. You do get more out of a new machine, but I also understand small businesses, right? You are trying to make the best of whatever you have for funding, and the more you spend, the less you're able to help your business grow. So I know that, and if you really want a refurb, go directly to those vendors. They're going to be certified refurbished. You'll save some money. They might not last as many years as they would if they were brand new, but you're definitely not going to get ripped off in these types of scenarios. If you have any more questions, please reach out to us. You can reach us at arboriasolutions.com and Chris at arboriats.com. That reaches me in email, or you can call me. And I hope to hear from you, but you all stay safe and keep your windows updated.